I'm here in heaven, otherwise known as the Bungalow Bread Company, and I'm with the owner-operator, chief baker, Matt Peterson. He's going to show us how to make bread.
Sure. Today we're going to talk a little bit about challah. So challah is a traditional Jewish bread. It's a braided loaf, and I've shown you here today, this is kind of a loose dough. We'll have the recipe online, but this is a loose dough that when it comes out of your bowl, it's going to be kind of rough. And really what you want when you start any kind of loaf of bread, you want a nice smooth skin. This is what's going to become the crust of the bread. It's going to be what's the beautiful part of the bread.
You've already kneaded this though, right?
This has already been kneaded,
okay.
And now it just needs to be kind of what we call rounding. We're going to round it out a little bit. And basically what we're doing is we're finding the best surface of it, and we're going to kind of stretch it around the dough. And the way that we do it is we push down in the middle, pull it up, push it down, and keep pushing into that center spot, and you're kind of twisting and pulling that bread.
This, I guess you kind of get the groove. You
yeah,
get in the groove once you've done it a few times.
You can come up with something that's a little bit smooth like this. Now, at the end of the day, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference with the braided loaf, but it is going to help if you have it as a starting point for shaping or for rolling out your braids. So we're going to put this one aside because something that happens to dough as you work with it, it gets tightened. The gluten in the dough tightens up. It makes it a little bit harder to work with.
So you actually want to handle it as the least amount as possible.
Yeah, you don't want to handle it too much, and after a while it can get really tough to work with. You find as you're rolling out the dough that it's getting too hard to roll out, give it some time off. Give it a little break. So right now we've got a few that we've already rounded a little bit earlier, and we're going to cut these into 4 pieces. I'm going to give you a bench knife. And
this is a handy
usually I turn mine upside down, but you work that way. Go ahead and start that way. It doesn't make a lot of difference. I'll flatten it out a little bit and go for trying to cut into 4 even pieces. Now, if you're a little bit off, it's not going to make a whole lot of difference, but I always aim for perfection. So we're going for 4 equal pieces. We've got
You're
4
fast.
triangles, basically. You're doing great. That is fantastic.
All right.
All right. So now you're going to take one of your little triangles, and you're going to flatten it out. Make a bigger triangle. Once it's flattened, you're going to take the long end of it and roll it up a little bit. You're just going to roll it the best you can. It's going to be a little bit difficult. You roll it. And then what I usually like to do is roll it with my hand for a second. Just kind of smooth it out. And again, I like to set it aside so we come back to it once it's rested a little bit. It'll be easier to roll out long once it's rested for a second. So I'm going to flatten my next one. I'm going to roll it up.
No flour. You don't even need any flour in
No,
your
I
hands
usually
or
don't.
the
If
surface?
your dough ends up being really sticky, which is okay, I would put a little bit of flour out, but you're better off not getting a whole bunch of flour on it. In fact, with rolling dough like this, if you have a lot of flour out, you'll often push the whole dough across the table and you won't be able to roll it. You need a little bit of friction. So it's nice to have a dough that's a little bit sticky. So
Feels good.
Roll it out a little bit. And once you get done, and I'll get your 4th one, I'll join you over here. Okay.
Okay, just to save a little time here, Matt's going to go ahead and braid this really quick.
So when you're braiding, when you want to go for a longer piece of dough, you kind of get a barbell to some degree, and then you put your hands down and pull it as you're rolling it. And you want to keep rolling it the whole time. So we got one there. You set it off to the side. You really can't go too long, but you can go too short. If you go too short, it's hard to braid. But if you go too long, it just means that your loaf's going to be a little bit longer. Nobody complains about a longer braided loaf. They always look great.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been making bread for, I guess, 10 years. But the bakery's only been here for the past year.
So every day for the past year, so I'm not going to feel bad about being able to do this like you.
Okay, so you want to pinch your pieces together, and the way you braid 4 braids is you lift up the middle one and bring the one on the far left across. And then the same thing's going to happen again. You lift up the middle one, bring the far one across. Lift up, cross, and tuck it under until you run out of dough. And then at the very end, people don't know what to do at the end. You just smash it down a little bit and tuck it underneath. Back here I came undone, so I'm just going to go back and just braid this back together. Pinch it down, tuck it underneath. Stick it on. We use parchment here. You can put it on a greased sheet as well.
It's beautiful. Now you could add things to that to make flavors
Definitely.
or raisins.
Sometimes they put raisins in it. We can sweeten it up, make it a little bit sweeter. You can sprinkle sesame seeds on top or poppy seeds. It's a great loaf. Once you put an egg wash on it, it shines. It looks wonderful.
Perfect for your holiday table.
Yeah.
All right, thanks, Matt. Okay, guess which one was mine? It's not so neat, is it?
They look great. They all look very good.
All right, practice makes perfect. And this is a perfect one. Look at this, it's all baked and beautiful.
Yeah, so this one we just got out of the oven. When you slice the challah, if you can slice it in diagonals, you get smaller pieces.
That
And
is
you end up with a
steaming
little
hot.
herringbone. This thing's steaming hot.
It
Or you can go
is.
straight through and come sliced. Some people just tear off pieces. Either way, it tastes great. It's a great bread to share during the holidays.
It is, and it is definitely a pretty presentation. So are these. You've got all kinds of different ones. This is the cinnamon chip. I
Yep, we do the
recognize
cinnamon
it.
chip. We do a variety of other breads. We have a cranberry white chocolate. This is a peach cobbler bread. Our 7-grain cinnamon chip. They're all natural, great breads to come and get for your family and friends.
All right, so come to Bungalow Bread
Bungalow
Company.
Bread Company.
On the Beaverton side of Shoals Ferry, and their address is on our website, along with this recipe.
Exactly.
All
yes.
right, Matt's sharing this recipe for challah bread, and it's on our website at fusionnw.com. And they have a saying around here that man cannot live by bread alone. That's why they also sell cookies.
Excellent. Yeah, the
All right.
cookies are great.
Check them out. Oh, there's chocolate in it.